Swindon, hello, how are you? I've been to Bilbao, it's lovely, isn't it? It's cool, and some ball fellas in the front row, I like that. I've done mine, I use, what do you use? I use the not the Mach 3, the Mach 3 Turbo. Men's razors, brilliant macho names. Women's razors, very ladylike names, like the Philips Lady Shave, and that one for German women, the Braun Hovermower. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I've been doing another gig in Cheltenham. Well, I'll tell you why I'm out. It's not because I love gigs, it's because I've got teenage children. I just glad to be out the fucking house. 4 kids. I'm a great lover, by the way, great lover. My wife's never actually told me this, but the other night after we'd made love and I was strutting naked around the bedroom, blessed Dom Perignon in one hand, cigar in the other, she looked at me through his beautiful eyes and said, "What a prick." And I looked down and went, "Yeah." And I think the key to it, and I can see we got some couples in, I think the key to it, and I'm sure you'll agree, I don't know how long you've been together, and I won't ask because I'm sure you've been talked to, but I think you've got to argue. You've got to argue. You can't keep these things suppressed. The only arguments I don't like, you know, when you're having an argument, and you go out to meet some people, but the argument hasn't been resolved, and you've got to pretend you're not arguing. So you're in the car like this, fuck off, just fuck off, fuck off. And women, you're the best at this. Because women like, fuck off, just fuck off. Hello, Jenny, hello, Steve. We had this fabulous night last night, there was this mad waiter, we had this lovely bottle of wine. Us fellas were over here thinking, brilliant, the argument's over. I'll join in. Yeah, then we couldn't get a cab home because you were pissed, lovely top. And buy nice presents. Did you buy her something nice for her birthday, sir? What did you buy? A gold necklace, look at you, good man. I bought my wife, some of the ladies will be familiar with this. It's a very exotic and expensive and exclusive lingerie from a company called Agent Provocateur. Have you heard of this? Yeah, some people have. How much do you think a bra costs at Agent Provocateur? So, bearing in mind I'm asking you because I can tell you haven't got a fucking clue. And nor should you have. It's an extraordinary amount of money. I couldn't believe it. A bra at Agent Provocateur, 98 quid. I know, look at you nodding, 98 quid. And that's just the bra, not all the other stuff, the cosh, the gag, 98 quid. And one more thing, bit of space, this is important. A couple of years ago, my wife went away to New York with her friend Claire. They booked a room online, one room, and they did something men rarely do. They just got a single room, they shared a bed. Now, sometime after this, I went to a football match with my mate, Charlie. Now, he's a good fella, Charlie, bit of a fat fucker. He's the type of bloke who farts in an Indian restaurant and says, "My compliments to the chef." I know, so he's a good bloke. But you don't want to sleep with him. Anyway, my wife's standing by the printer when these tickets come out, and she said, "Why are you and Charlie getting 2 rooms?" I said, "Well, I'm not going to sleep with Charlie." She said, "Well, I slept with Claire." It was a weak moment. I went, "Oh, well, I'd sleep with Claire." She said nothing then. 6 months later, we were out shopping. We were buying a bed. I'd had enough. I finally sat down on the edge of this bed. I said, "Look, I've had enough. I think we should get this one. What do you think?" She went, "Why don't you ask Claire?" So yes, where was I? 4 kids. Yes, we're kids. 4 kids. I've got 3 girls. One little, well, do you know, he's not such a little boy now. He's 15 now, but he was, when he was little, he was lovely. Kids are lovely when they're little. He used to ask me too many questions. In fact, that kid used to ask me so many questions, I was thinking of lending him to the police to help crack difficult suspects. Where were you last night? It was in my house. Is it a big house? Is it the biggest house in the world? How many windows are in your house? Is there more windows in your house than any house in the world? Can you get an elephant in your house? Can you get 2 elephants? Could you get the biggest elephant in the world in your house? Can you ride on the biggest elephant in the world? I don't know! Where were you last night? I don't know! You said you were in your house. Book him. Embarrassing things as well. I remember this so well years ago. He came into the bedroom very early. And he said to my wife, "Why were you doing that?" And quite frankly, I wanted to know because I was in the kitchen making a lovely, lovely little boy. The parents will know this. A lovely little lad. 3 short years later, I live in South London like Laura. 3 short years later, when he entered his teenage years, He sounds like he's been brought up by a Jamaican yardie gang. The other week his room was a mess. He came in, I said, son, clean your room. He looks at me like this, he goes, do crib cleaning woman work, man. He's a little ginger lad. With freckles. He cries when his mum shouts. I cry when his mum shouts. I've left him tonight, actually. He's got his mates round, and the house stinks of lynx, for God's sake. Lynx, I said, son, we're going to get our own hole in the ozone layer. We'll get friends of the earth round. He said, yeah, but they want to shag us. Crap, though. Look, on the internet, I came down the other day and he's got the computer on. I said, son, what are you doing, homework? He said, no, we're looking at fat kids fall off roller coasters. I said, son, that's horrible, that's very funny. My eldest daughter, I won't go on about your kids forever, I'm just thinking of this. My eldest daughter, for fuck's sake, my eldest daughter's a goth. Do you know, I wanted to be so proud of my kids. I wanted to swagger into parties in posh places and say, this is my daughter, she's interested in computers and hoping for a job in IT. Not, this is my daughter, she's interested in the devil. Mind you, you learn. You do learn. I have to tell you, I have learned a good deal about the world of the goth in the last 18 months, and let me tell you, they're not the most happy-go-lucky people. Which is why it was probably a bit of a mistake that she joined us on the family trip to Disneyland. Standing next to Mickey Mouse, miserable as fuck. Long black coat, death-like pallor, that was my daughter, not Mickey. And, well, I'll tell you, do you know, I don't know if anyone's been to Disneyland. I had gigs near there, and I took the family. And, we flew, if you ever get a chance, we flew Virgin Atlantic, marvellous. We were coming back on the Virgin plane and the captain came on and he said, I'd like to introduce you to the cabin crew. Lovely Leslie, and Leslie came along, red top, red skirt, bit too much makeup, but a lovely fella. And what I didn't understand about Disneyland, I love that joke, it's stupid, but I love it. What I didn't understand about Disneyland, as much as I enjoyed it, and I did, but there were adults there, on their own, without kids, ordinary fellas like you and me, John Smith, Peter Jones, Gary Glitter.